Was, yeah,
the
it
big
was.
We gotta find
table,
out
Hi,
the
everybody.
big
there.
Sorry we're late.
kitchen.
Scooter gets the king size bed.
Okay.
Yes, she does.
Lexi, Lexi's probably not
Lexi.
going.
Really?
No?
No,
Why
yeah,
not?
because I asked her, do you want to go? We go back?
Oh God, it was boring for her.
You're
It was
lying.
very boring for her.
Yeah, she
I
was
know
just
it
like,
was.
"Eh."
Yeah.
So it would just be Dave and I.
She's like,
So you still can take that king size bed. Why not?
Yeah.
If we hear squeaking though, we're gonna be banging on the walls.
Yeah,
Hi,
I don't
Deborah
care.
Van Corbett and Christine,
Whatever you
everybody.
do.
How's everybody doing? I
Sorry.
did all the
I'm
gingerbread
just
cookies. I
live.
have to do the
Carolyn's
royal icing.
live.
What?
I'm live.
Carolyn's live.
The hot mics. Can we have the hot mics, please? Pass them around. Hi, Kevin.
I'm muting.
Oh, you've got your postage stamp on again. Okay, so
It's not
hi.
big.
What?
It's not big.
So hi,
Sorry.
farm wife. I know, but you don't understand, farm wife. There was some housing issues, and we found, yeah, we had to. It was just had to take care of it. And then, hi, Binky.
Hi, Bink. Carolyn's live. How are you?
Oh, okay. I was
Is-
wondering where everybody
Is
was.
Saturday? Can I ask a question? Saturday is New Year's Eve.
That is
So-
Carolyn.
Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
That is correct.
Because I'm trying. I know people have been asking, when is your next auction? I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe on New Year's Day, maybe we'll do. I don't know. I don't know what we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll have a pop up
Up to you.
flash sale. You never
Well,
know when a
there's
pop
football
up.
games all day long. Not everybody.
I don't like football games.
There you go.
Maybe
So,
we'll have a pop up
with
flash
you.
sale. We'll see.
hmm.
Might
Do
be
it when there's a football game, Maybe we could do that on
Yeah.
Monday, right?
Sunday.
Monday is back to work and back to
Oh,
school.
I mean,
Nobody
Sunday,
cares
sorry.
about Monday. Nobody.
Nobody. Sunday.
Nobody in the whole world.
Sunday, maybe.
Orange.
Nope, play it by ear.
Tomorrow I'm gonna ice
Worst
the
day of the
cookies.
year.
Apologize for Carolyn.
I said we'll play it by ear.
What?
I'm very sorry and rather embarrassed
For what?
What?
because you're so late.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm late because we were trying to make plans. Okay.
Well, just let me apologize.
Okay.
Your
So
apology is accepted.
Now-
Thank you very much. Yes.
okay, there was someone that came out today with some information. They said, okay, now this person said they have it on a reliable source that said that that person in that CC still is Jack. This person also said that they are having an interview with Kaylee's parents, which is due to air in January the 5th. They also said that the parents allegedly, in this interview, allegedly say they are still backing JD. Allegedly, they say, and I believe, that JS, is that correct? That JS may need some looking into? Allegedly? But all of this is grain of salt, allegedly, because it's just a YouTuber saying this. So you can, it's like Ripley's Believe It or Not, like, no, what was that scary thing that go, you make up your mind. Did it happen or not? Or something like that, right? What was that show? You can make up your mind if you want to believe that or not. Let me see here. Hold on one second. Let me just switch back. I've got to switch back from my YouTube page to my personal. And then I have to go into my portal over here and see what's going on. And I'll tell you exactly what's being said. All right, so there's a lot of crap going around. Okay, now I'm going to tell you this is all grain of salt stuff. Okay, somebody else posted a video that said that someone who's friends with a person from Moscow PD. Okay, now, well, we had some, come on, you know, grain of salt, right? They said that Ethan and Zaina were killed first. The killer then walked upstairs, begins to kill one of the female victims. The other one wakes up and tried to run and scream. The killer shoved her on the bed on top of the other victim and basically silenced her by slashing her throat. That's why the wounds were worse or different. She was found dead on top of the other victim, and a neighbor turned her Ring camera into police with a scream on it at 3:38 a.m. There are apparently 3 cameras that were turned in with a scream at this time, all from different neighbors. The one neighbor said she didn't call the police because there's always so much partying, she thought it was that. This is why the other 2 people downstairs were not harmed, because the killer immediately left and began to freak out by screaming and was caught on camera in a Hyundai Elantra at an A&W root beer, speeding by on camera at 3:45. This makes sense why Kaylee's dad said they didn't have to go upstairs because they killed Ethan and Zaina first. I'm going to, let's see, this makes a lot of sense. This also explains why police narrowed the timeline down so fast. I feel like a lot of the detail aligns with the comments made by Kaylee's dad and why Moscow PD started looking at camera footage down a certain route. Take it with a grain of salt. Again, let's see, and let's see what people, the average Joe, thinks about this. Okay. Someone says, okay, hold on a minute. What I don't get, if this is true, why is law enforcement telling other people, friends and family, who then just flap their gums to anyone? This could be details only the killer would know, since law enforcement has not publicly released any of this info. Someone said, good point. Someone said, I mean, people talk, they shouldn't, but they are human. The details sound like they align so much with what Kaylee's dad keeps slipping. Okay. Someone says, I'm not disagreeing with you, it makes sense. But when someone that's close to law enforcement says that it came from them, there has been one in particular in this group that always says, I have a friend who's a partner in MPD or something to that effect. It can really screw up an investigation because it hasn't been released to the public. Someone said, I don't know if you have any friends in law enforcement, but I have a few from growing up and they love to tell stories, LOL. Another one says, I do. I grew up around law enforcement and you're not wrong. But when it's a high profile case such as this, they should learn to keep it quiet. Another one said, I think at some point cops do want some info released, especially if they have a suspect, so they can see how the suspect reacts. Someone said, oh, I don't disagree with you at all, but it's almost human nature to an extent, especially among younger, greener officers. It's like the shiny new deal your office is making you tell everyone on the outside about. If any of them struggle in social areas, dating, flirting, etc., they bust out the classified info. It's definitely a bad look. Someone said, they aren't. These are all people trying to profit. Somebody else said, I have very rarely come across a case, even high-profile cases, where a law enforcement officer tells a relative information that has not been released, and then they have that relative going around and leaking these details on TikTok and the internet. That law enforcement officer would have to know they'll be in major trouble for this and absolutely can jeopardize the entire case for this. They'll absolutely find out who the source is. Someone said, hey, my friend is the lead investigator to Oakley Carson's disappearance here where I'm from. There are so many things that I'm sure he knows about the case, but he knows that he can talk about and what he cannot talk about. I also have friends in the legal system, and sure, they like to tell stories, but not when it's ever about an ongoing investigation. Most definitely if it was a quadruple homicide, of the most horrific proportions, but there's always a leak. So hopefully, if this is indeed true, hopefully their entire investigation isn't blown to smithereens. Okay, then another one says, exactly. Look at the Moab case they showed today. They kept where the girls' bodies were located a secret, and that was one of the clues that led them to believe what the killer told the boyfriend, and he in return told the police. We basically know nothing of the ins and outs of the case, and I think that's how it should be. There are many things that we are not told about crimes and murders. Someone said, I think it's just someone's theory, but he wants attention, so he says it comes from law enforcement. It's very plausible, though. Another one says, I think most people have a few cases that stick with them. Little Oakley is one that breaks my heart. In her case, I truly feel the system failed her. I pray your friend and fellow investigators are able to find answers and get justice for her. Someone said they should, meaning keep quiet. But these law enforcement have never seen anything like this before, and a lot of them are in their 20s, so it's plausible that they ran their mouth even though they shouldn't have. Another one said, that's unfortunate. Another one said, I don't have TikTok, so a direct Facebook link would be appreciated. It does seem relatively plausible as you've outlined it. Let's see. A lot of this makes sense, someone said. I found it interesting how they pinpointed the time of the killing. Agreed. The Ring cameras all had the scream at the same time. That's how I think they figured it out, more than one neighbor. Someone said, well, so they say. We haven't seen those videos yet. Someone said they figured out what time. A scooter that popped off. They figured out what time they were killed based on examining the bodies. It's just science-based estimates. Except if the screams are true and the car, that would be more accurate. Science can't pinpoint it to the minute. Someone said, if neighbors heard a scream, how come the roommates on the first floor didn't hear it? Someone said the coroner determined the time of death. Someone said it's someone's theory, and they used their relative in Moscow. Law enforcement told me to get to the top of the pile. Neither can my relative said. That someone said they can't determine the exact time. They can guess based on rigor mortis, but that would be within a few hours time frame. Law enforcement said a very specific time frame from the start. Someone said I had also read somewhere different than this video. The girls were found unalived on top of each other. I believe this 100%. Let's see. Someone said I also heard Kaylee was on top of Maddie. Someone said I never heard it before. Someone said I thought it was another roommate. Someone said who's the target? Someone said, yep, exactly what I heard too. Just still spectacle. I think she means speculation. If it was one perp or two, I'm still leaning to one after hearing this, but part of me thinks one went on the main floor and one went upstairs. Someone said, where did this come from? Someone said, I think it's one person. I don't know why. I get the vibe this guy is a loner, a psychopath, not one of the outgoing ones that are out there. Someone said, like I know, really. Someone said, I belong to 4 groups devoted to just this case. I watch TikTok. I have no idea where it came from. I definitely did not believe it was true when I heard it. Someone said, I don't know that one either. Someone said, as a matter of fact, when I heard that Kaylee was on top of Maddie and people were speculating she was trying to protect Maddie, I think that's why I didn't believe it. What is said in this post makes more sense. Someone said, now that I think about it, I have seen this exact theory on Reddit, I think. I just wonder where it's coming from, as details like this have not been released by law enforcement as of yet. Was it the dad that said it? Someone said, I don't think it came from the dad. Someone said, it's so hard to sift through this BS on this case. Police have been extremely tight-lipped about basically everything. So where is this coming from? That they were in the same bed, let alone on top of each other, is beyond me. It'll be very interesting to see what theories end up being true. Someone said, agreed. I heard a long time ago that they were sleeping in the same bed. pretty sure it was Kay's dad that said that, but I totally agree with you. It's hard to know what's true and what's not. I have never seen anything like the social media rumor mill associated with this case. Hopefully we get some answers soon. Someone said, let's see, they're going on another tangent. Let me see. The girl next door that was up all night didn't hear a thing. All was quiet. Someone said that's one person. They're surrounded by a lot of people. Someone said that camera is going to pick up way more audio than a person will. It's essentially scrubbing white noise from recordings and amplifying, clarifying sharp sounds. It could have easily been very faint, yet very clear on camera. You can't test this with your phone camera. You can test this with your phone camera right now. You might not even hear your AC running. It's so static. But on camera, the sharp highs of the blower motor will be very loud. Okay. Someone said if they screamed, how come the roommates didn't hear anything? Someone said I heard the owner say you can't hear anything from the floor the other two were on, but who knows, because I've heard that they've had their doors locked too. Not saying they exactly did it, but that's what I've heard. Someone said, very interesting point. Someone said, okay, this sounds like it could be genuine. Times and motives line up. Someone said, you're not the first, but this has been shared a lot everywhere, and it sounds plausible. Someone said, how would they know she was shoved? Pretty specific detail. Someone said, I think because Kaylee was found on top of Maddie and maybe bruising her blood showed her trying to run. I don't know. I was just sharing because it really sounds plausible. Someone said, definitely strange. The added detail of them getting up, trying to run, and being pushed down. Nobody would know that unless they were there, or if the killer told them. Or bloodstains. It wasn't aimed at you, more at the guy that made the video, and seems too specific for me. It's true that her throat was slashed. I believe the coroner stated that. She did not, said someone else. Then someone said, then it was the father who stated her throat was slashed. I won't go into detail regarding how bad it was. Someone said, he did not. He said her wounds differed from Maddie's. Linked to source? Someone said, I believe her father stated there were more deep gouges rather than stab wounds. Someone said he did say that, but no reference to the location. Someone said, yes, true. Someone said, I would have flinched if he had defined that. Someone said, fact, her throat was slashed. Someone said, source. Says who? No proof. Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Yeah, this is so crazy. Okay, here comes somebody. Hold on a minute. How would they know the whole she tried to run and scream play by play? How is that deduced merely by where she would have been found in the bed, especially if she woke up in the middle of the other being attacked first? Therefore, she wouldn't have been wounded to even leave a trail of blood around the room to even indicate this happened. Someone said it could be that she had the other victim's blood on here and there were footprints, also bruising from being shoved. I'm not sure. I'm just sharing. Someone said could have had M's blood on her. Someone said, but so could the perp walking around the room, so I guess I'm just confused at how it could be deduced that it was specifically one of the girls, but I'm sure there were a lot of things about the scene we might never know, at least not until trial. Someone said it's been theorized that Kay and the dog slept in their own room and not with M, but she was found in M's room, and that is why the dog was found in that room that was free from the blood. Someone said Kaylee's dad mentioned he knew that they were both sleeping in the same room because Kaylee's bed was still made. Now here's a comment that someone took from Reddit. And it says, if you are referring to the survivors, it sounds like one of them actually did hear everything. One of the victim's family members posted from their verified account on Reddit a while back, essentially questioning one of them and their actions that night, and said that at least one of the girls heard screaming and crying, also known as the murders taking place. And when everything went silent, she called all of her upstairs roommates. Obviously, they didn't pick up, and then proceeded to not do anything until close to noon the next day, when she called her friends to come and look because she was scared at what they might find. The family member was saying one of the friends that came over the next day is going to need therapy for life because of what they saw. I have the screenshots, but I'm not comfortable to post them because They later deleted them from their account, but it was from their verified one, which lends more credibility to me, in my opinion. When I finally saw this, I said, aha, because this makes it all add up a bit more. I was very suspicious of the survivors and their actions from the beginning, and I never believed the story that was put out about them just falling asleep and not hearing anything or having any clue until about 8 to 9 hours later. Never made any sense to me, combined with a number of other facts we heard. So if their phone does, in fact, show she did call all the victims after they were killed, also known as she wasn't asleep, that wouldn't look good because it was a lie, unless she told law enforcement the truth from the beginning and law enforcement decided to omit the true story for the public because it would cause a lot of controversy, inevitably. Someone said, just saw a comment today from a reporter who stated that law enforcement told him that the two roommates did hear noises during the times of the murder. Someone said, I remember on Reddit seeing something about one of the surviving hearing water noises, and it was speculated the killer was maybe washing their hands before running off. And someone said, even if she heard a scream and called the roommates, it doesn't mean she did anything wrong. Someone said, of course they heard noises. Did you see the body cam footage from September 1st? You can hear someone inside the house say Kaylee's name from the outside of the house, not to mention it's quiet at 3 a.m. There's no way those girls heard nothing. The question is, why didn't they call the police? Someone else said, hearing all they supposedly heard and no answer from roommates, and you're scared, but you don't call 911, I don't buy it. Someone said, I'm not completely sold either. Someone said, Ethan's sister-in-law is the one who made the comment about hearing noises and called her boyfriend to come over and check the house. I don't think they mean sister-in-law. I think they mean Ethan's sister is the one who made the comment about Dylan hearing noises and called her boyfriend to come over and check the house before she would come out of her room. Someone said she heard a murder, her roommates can't be reached, and she stays in her room until noon the next day. I'd call the police and be out of that house in fear of my own safety. Someone said, you have to think if they heard a faint scream or anything, they could have thought it was from somewhere else. I know personally my first instinct wouldn't be that it was my house if it was faint and I was in a party town. They could be used to hearing faint noises from parties where people all hours of the night. It's a college town. Someone said it said screaming and crying. There's probably a reason it's called a blood-curdling scream. I wouldn't say if you heard screaming and crying, sitting tight would be my first plan, calling 911, except her boyfriend was in Boise. Then someone said she did state a name, so it might have been an assumption that the guy was her boyfriend. She didn't state a name, I'm sorry. Someone said a couple more comments immediately following the incident. These aren't mine either, and puts these up again from Reddit. Someone said, this is not verified info, but I know a person who lives across the street from the house of the victims. Apparently there were 3 sorority girls and 1 male who was the boyfriend of one of the girls. My friend said she heard that the responding officers and EMTs mentioned stab wounds when she went out to her driveway to not so covertly eavesdrop while pretending to gather things from her car. Any info on the surviving person is the next comment. If they were only unconscious, maybe they witnessed the attack. Would also be interested to know where they were found, and the fact that police responded to the call about them implies that they were found first before the other bodies. Nothing for certain, but she was under the impression the male was the unconscious person. If so, then he didn't survive. It's not clear who made the 911 call. And let's see what else we have. Someone said the specific description of what possibly happened isn't new. This has been circulating for weeks now. It's been talked about in this group before. What's wrong with you people? I added that. I haven't seen it before with any details like this, especially about an A&W root beer being the first to submit footage. All of these specific details have been talked about. Speculation or not. Someone just put them all together. Loser. I made that down. Okay, someone said, just someone with more fake inside knowledge trying to get attention and followers. Someone said Kaylee's sister on Reddit or wherever said, OMG, it has to be her for real, not likely. Someone said, anything's possible, just sharing. Someone said, this has been in line with my theory since the murders occurred, although this is the first that I'm hearing of a scream at 3:38 on 3 separate Ring cameras. Makes a lot of sense. Someone says, me too. Did they release the 3 Ring screams? No, but if it's true, it would make sense as to how they narrowed down the timeline so early on in the investigation. I know that the house directly to the right of the victim's house had a Ring cam on the side of the house facing towards the victim's house, so I totally believe this. 3 people reported a scream between 3:30 to 4 or something, and one of those had something to do with a Ring camera capturing it or something at 3:38. I do remember coming across this. Someone said, no, I'll have to try to find it. I literally said the same exact thing. Someone says that this post is saying on a post somewhere that the other day on here, a TikTok, like days ago, I didn't say A&W. Yeah, nice. I haven't posted any of my theories on here, but this has definitely been the one that makes the most sense. Someone said I was just actually answering someone's question when I had mentioned the Scream Ring camera and the 3 people because it was something I had come across a few weeks ago. Nothing confirmed. Someone said the second house to the right has the Ring camera because she called cops in August and just purchased one. Someone said, yeah, I know. It would make sense that the perp went after Ethan first, and if he did that, then Ethan is the primary target, and the others supported Ethan, which enraged the perp too. I don't think Maddie was planned. Someone said, but if Ethan was the target and killed first, why would the killer go upstairs and kill 2 more people and risk getting caught if the target was already dead? Why wouldn't he just get out of there ASAP? Someone said, theoretically, if you're going to enter a home, you must, with multiple potential or intended victims, it makes sense to first neutralize your biggest threat, greatest obstacle, which most likely would likely view as the lone male unseen. Okay. Someone said, I don't think Ethan was the target. If he was, there would be 0 reasons to go upstairs. I do believe the killer knew he was there and took him out first because he was the only man, only worrisome threat he would even have. The rest are women and not as strong, so it only makes sense to take your biggest threat out first, which also shows one of the girls on the 3rd floor was definitely the target, or the killer would have left after killing Ethan and Zaina. Someone said maybe they were watching the house and saw Ethan left and had to kill him first to get to their intended target. Someone said if he went to Ethan first, that doesn't mean he was the target. He was the biggest threat. Believe this has merit, someone said. The video footage was not from the A&W gas station. It was from a little further down unless they got different footage from A&W too. Someone said they received footage from many businesses. Someone said there's another Reddit comment from 9 days ago and it's not mine, saying apparently one of these girls screamed at like 3:38 or something and someone heard it and they have said some other things that narrowed down the timeline. All rumor though. Okay, someone said, except the police were not referring to the A&W gas station video of the white car going by. They were referring to a white Elantra being seen near the house itself. The gas station video emerged later on, and it's unknown whether it's connected at all. Someone said the gas station footage was from another gas station by Highway 8, and someone said and supposed it was headed towards the crime scene, not away from it. I was corrected earlier today myself by several people for thinking it was headed away from the house. Someone said, OMG. Someone said, yes, because the police and this storyteller were there to see the killer push one of the victims onto the other facepalm. Then they said, it's possible if someone has blood on their feet and were trying to run to see shoving, and according to this one victim, was found on top of another, but it's just something I'm sharing, not here to argue. Someone said, actually, I remember reading an interview done by Kaylee's dad stating that the girls were basically laid on top of each other from the thrust of the wounds. I don't know who pushed who, but it was said. Someone said, more inside information, huh? Yeah, cool. Someone said this was shared before a couple of places, then taken down. I don't personally believe anything until it's proven factual. The other problem is he was friends with a family member, and that was factual, and they wouldn't share it under any means to jeopardize the case. Someone said, whose black truck was in that video? Let's see. Someone said, I don't know. Why would any law enforcement tell anyone, even a relative, this type of information? And then this relative makes a TikTok video about an ongoing high profile case. I highly doubt this. Heads would roll for this. That law enforcement officer would be in major trouble. Never mind jeopardizing the entire case by leaking details of the crime. I didn't buy it. If it was authentic, they'll absolutely find out who's responsible for this leak. They're not going to just let it go and say, oh, well, crucial information's on TikTok. Someone said, you'd be surprised. Law enforcement includes dispatches or office personnel to the office cleaner. Small towns generally have more people like sisters, etc. know how to go on this. My sister is a supervisor. My mom always pumps her for information. Let's see. Geez, we live in a small town, so we just wait. It will be released soon, not this town. Someone said it's just hard to believe anybody working on this case who cares for victims in finding and prosecuting their murderer would jeopardize a case such as this, only for the relative to go and leak it to millions of people. Not like it all fly under the radar or reach a small amount of people with the massive amount of people consumed with this case. Someone said, we haven't had a murder in our town in 20 years. I think everyone should be fired if they leak this information to their families, but word of mouth on the streets travels faster, and rumors travel faster still. Fact. Could have been posted because the family members were angry, so many were cleared quickly. They could have been like us, thinking it doesn't add up to not call 911, but be too scared to leave your room the next day. I don't know, though. I don't trust much anything said either. I do if it came from a family member for real. Someone said, yeah, it's not impossible, but if anyone is angry now about how law enforcement handled the case, they'll be really angry when something like this destroys the case. When suspect is caught and the trial. Yep. If I thought someone was in my house and there's no way in heck that I could go back to sleep, someone said, exactly. You hear a scream and crying, water trickling like someone's washing their hands. You call your boyfriend, you lock your doors, and eventually you go to sleep until 12 the next day. Something's not adding up. You're not going to call the cops. Too many people have said the screaming thing caught on the Ring footage wasn't real. The scenario doesn't sound likely at all. If they left in that big of a hurry, why is there no blood leaving the house? Guys, all of this has happened in the last hour, okay? Every comment I'm reading you has happened in the last hour. That's how obsessive it is in here. We don't know there isn't blood outside the house. They took pictures. Someone said, it's not as though they're actively bleeding on the way out. They'll leave a couple of footsteps inside. They likely grabbed something, wiped themselves off real quick, and took it with them. The fact that they ran after the scream says they planned to take out the entire house quietly. This tells me they likely brought a bag or something with them to dispose of the evidence. Someone said, exactly. Thank you. Wait, hold on. Somebody said, just back it up a little bit. I said this exact same thing somewhere on a post like a few days ago. But I had seen a bunch of things throughout this whole case, but nothing actually confirmed. Someone said, unless they have a camera that records nonstop, how would they have a scream on video? Most cameras only record when they detect movement, I thought. So a scream wouldn't trigger the camera to record, at least not what any of the camera systems I've ever had. Someone said, some cameras can record 24/7. My neighbors did. Arlo is one of the brands. I'm sure others do too. Okay, someone said, great point. Someone said, I have security cameras. It's connected to my phone. And yes, I can hear people talk when they walk past my place. I can hear my kids talking away from the front yard. So yes, it can pick up noises. Someone said that, yes, absolutely. Some do and can. It's not as common these days to have those, though. It's definitely possible one of those neighbors had one, but to think 3 of them got close enough to hear for their camera to pick up a scream, I would find that highly unlikely, but who knows? Someone said, I go live with mine, so it records everything. Someone said, that's not what I'm saying. I have cameras that have audio as well, but my camera still needs movement to trigger it to record. A sound alone doesn't trigger it to record. They would have to have a system that records 24/7 in order for that to be possible. Or like you said, if you watch live, you can set it to record while you watch. Not sure what kind you have, but mine still requires me to hit continue watching every 30 or so seconds in order for it to stay live. There's tons of brands and options, but I still find it highly unlikely that 3 different neighbors caught this alleged scream on video. The theory itself is plausible, though. Someone said mine doesn't. I can watch all the cars go by. Someone said mine are Nest, Google, and record 24/7, and I have access to the videos for 60 days, but I know a Ring is similar to what you're talking about. Someone said you do not need to record 24/7 to pick up sound. That's old school. It's very common to have an in-home security camera that detects motion, sound, talking, dog barking, familiar faces, unfamiliar faces. It differentiates, and you can sort through the history via those categories. Mine picks up my neighbor's dog across the street that we can never see. They're inexpensive from Amazon. The technology has gotten so good that most have these capabilities. Someone said, I'm listening to birds chirping right now on mine. Someone said, I think it usually depends if the cameras are hardwired or battery wired, with that being different people moving in and out all the time. I would think they would be battery powered, as they are easier to put up and take down. But again, anything's possible. I certainly am not trying to imply this theory is dumb or impossible. I simply find it unlikely, that's all. Someone said, oh, absolutely. I wasn't taking it that way at all. Just letting you know some of the other options are out there. Having said that, I know the battery options are similar to Ring, where it will only record certain events, motions, etc. Have a great night. I bought mine from Bunnings, Australia, and I love it. Someone said, I have Amazon Blink cameras less than a year old. I wish mine had that capability. I'll have to look for the functionality of that. Sorry, hold on a minute. I've got to get that. Mine sucks horribly. Someone says it says Ring cameras. Ring only begins recording upon detection of motion. Someone says, I have a $30 security camera that records 24/7 to an SD card and captures event clips to the cloud based on motion or sound. Someone says, I have a Vivint alarm. Oh boy, this sounds fun. This sounds ridiculous, like that woman that showed you her security system and tried to base everything off that in the Watts case. I know there will be hundreds in this group that have cameras that record 24/7. It's definitely not unheard of. Someone said people could be using Ring, referring to cameras the way people refer to soda as Coke. It's hard to say for sure. I'm aware that Ring only records at detection of motion. I have them too. Someone says the post says Ring cameras, and I am responding to the post, not a possible error or misrepresentation of the author. Someone says it's weird, although they are common because they sell them at Costco. Most of my neighbors actually have an Arlo camera put up on their property. I only know this because I literally just tonight there was a discussion in our neighborhood page about security systems and cameras, and the neighbors were sharing what they had. The other brands, some of them are Google Nest, Arlo, Eufy, Wise, and Casa support 24/7 continuous recordings. Simply Safe does so as well. It's hard to say, but it's plausible too. Someone said absolutely, if they had just one person caught, they wouldn't bat an eye at that. It was just them stating that 3 people were caught. It makes me feel super iffy about all this info, almost like someone is trying hard to make this info seem believable, but I also trust no one at all. LOL. So maybe it's just a me thing. Someone said, you're right. One neighbor turned in a Ring camera. It says, I pointed it out that it is possible something triggered the camera at the time and it just happened to pick it up. Who knows? At any rate, it also says 3 people turned in cameras with a scream. So regardless of how it happened, I'm just showing there are ways that it can happen. One or more ways could have been a Ring, and one could have been a continuous recording, not getting caught up in the details of it, and no need for me to really try to interpret it unless just showing it is a possibility, even if it's weird or odd. Someone said, I don't understand the comment. They didn't have to go upstairs. Who didn't? The murderer certainly did. Someone said, I think the dad was saying if Ethan and Zaina were the targets, they would have just left, but instead they went upstairs and killed the other two. Someone said, thank you. Oh my gosh. So if this is true, and I believe it is, then who is the primary target? Ethan or Zaina, since they were the first? Or was it one of the girls upstairs the main target, and Ethan and Zaina were just taken out first to get them out of the way? Someone says it kind of fits with the 4chan post about the frat brothers, E and X had a long-standing issue with, and M had rejected one, and K was collateral. Someone said, this seems plausible. Here's my problem with the whole thing. How come New York State can catch a pic of my full license plate when I'm driving 80 miles per hour on the highway, but there were no cameras that picked up a partial or full license plate of that white car? Didn't any of the traffic lights have cameras on them? Someone said, I've been wondering that since this beginning. Couldn't it be that there are so many white cars, let alone Elantras, driving around that time of the morning either? Someone said it's a smaller town. They may not have the resources and technology that major cities do. Someone says, oh, I'm surprised there are that many. Someone says, right, it just seems like some camera somewhere should have picked up at least a partial license plate, even if there were 30 white cars driving around at 3:30 a.m. That would seem like a lot. You would think they could narrow it down to the state the white car is registered to. It is white and the last 3 digits or whatever they are, and you could narrow it down pretty easy. Someone said, hadn't heard of that ring camera. Did they actually activate with sound? We just got one and I had no idea they could. Someone said, I live in New York too. So I know exactly what you mean, but maybe the driver purposely took off the plates off the car that night. And someone said, maybe, but I don't know. If I was going to murder someone in the middle of the night, I would drive with no license plate. If I would drive with no license plate, it might bring unwanted attention from the police. Jodi Arias turned hers upside down and then said her friends did it as a prank. Someone said, it depends on whether or not the infrastructure has been upgraded. Small town, so you need to make sure the traffic lights are working. The city probably doesn't have CCTV set up in many areas of the towns, but the video footage is coming from the private businesses, the small towns, small budgets. Someone said the car did not have a plate, only because the family was told to keep quiet. Someone said they have been 0 confirmed reports that any of the victims had worse stabbing than the others. This is speculation. Looked at the pin post. Someone said, true, the only thing that was stated was that some had defensive wounds. Someone said, that's not true. Kaylee's dad confirmed that Kaylee had gouges, not just stab wounds, and also said that they were way worse. They were worse than the others. He said Kaylee's liver and lungs were slashed, which is why they believe it was a male. Zaina's dad said Zaina had bruising from fighting. The parents have confirmed a lot. Okay, someone said, where is the source that Kaylee says her liver and lungs were slashed? And they put something from the New York Post, calling the cops cowards. They said, no, it's absolute speculation. They're posting something else. They said, her dad is no coroner or medical expert. He hasn't seen the autopsy of the other victims. It doesn't come from law enforcement. I don't believe it. Someone said Kaylee's own sister said those comments made by her father were not true. They never said that. It's a rumor. Someone said, I definitely remember him saying this a few weeks back. Someone said he did not give specifics. That's why it was retracted. But he did say Kaylee's injuries were specifically more brutal. Someone said the medical examiner discussed the different wounds in an interview about 2 weeks after the autopsies. Hold on a minute. I'm going to stop that for a minute. Got to put my watch on the charger. I'm going to check the chat and make sure if anybody's here. Hold on a second. Okay. What does anybody think about this? Have you heard this theory before? Because a lot of people have heard it before and think that YouTubers are just grabbing it, or TikTokers, or somebody's just going to town with it. There's a lot of stuff coming out today in a lot of videos. There's a lot of people going for clickbait. There's some of it that might be true. How do we know? What have you heard? What did you hear? Let me know in the comments. I'm coming right back there to look at your comments. I'm coming right there. Hang on. just getting something. This is just a discussion. Okay, so what? Let's see. You can hardly keep your eyeballs open, LMNW. Beyond belief. Fact or fiction? Right, we don't know. Where's the lead in, everybody? Okay, so far nobody's wearing it. I'm going to put up a poll. There you go. You start that poll. And I'm going to go. Let's see this. Let's see. This is going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Somebody said, if what you say is true, I take everything on Facebook with a grain of salt. Then Ethan was the target. He went in to take out him and woke up Zaina, and she fought with him. This may have woken the one of the girls up, and he went for them, stabbing Maddie first, then Kaylee, screamed, and he took her out. It's like a domino effect. The person didn't intend on taking 4 people out, but he had to. And his sick and twisted mind to keep from getting caught. So my question is now, who's he got rap with? Someone said, seriously, killing with a knife is a very personal thing. Men kill women all the time. It's a crime of passion. Oh boy, there were so many that happened on Christmas Day. We're going to get that in the headlines. She did something that angered the hell out of him. I'm going to go with Kaylee's dad said. He didn't need to go upstairs, but he did. Someone said, it is personal, but they usually don't do that in a house full of people. A crime of passion usually happens when someone catches their lover in bed with someone else. A love triangle type of thing. I mean, it could happen that way, but I'm thinking differently. We have to agree to disagree there. Someone said, who knows if it's even true? Someone said, I wish y'all would get off that in the cartel. Someone said, he may have went upstairs because one of them girls walked out or yelled down the stairs or even seen him. I mean, we don't really know anything except for what the police have released, and they have not released who was killed in what order. That cannot be done by law enforcement until DNA evidence comes back. I'm sure every parent in this feels their child was the target because their child was killed. I would. You can't listen to a mourning parent like that. I have lost a son, my 18-year-old, and I wasn't in my right state of mind and sober as I could be for nearly a year. I was an emotional train wreck. Every parent may feel like their child's wounds were worse because that's their baby. They should have never, ever been brought out, and the coroner shouldn't have that job anymore. She's not a medical examiner and has no medical license. Everyone makes an assumption on here and tries their best to make it into a fact, and no matter how you paint it, it's still an assumption. Someone said, my theory is someone's been sitting in jail for unrelated charges since very early in the investigation. Law enforcement is just getting their ducks in a row to charge them with murder. Someone said, I feel this is possible. A few interesting people in there. One whose father is a retired FBI agent. Someone said, yes, a woman involved with 2 males. Oh, boy, boy. Someone said, from watching the update from Chief Fry today, it sounds like they're wrapping things up. What do y'all think? I've heard a few mention that it could have been a contractor that's been to the house. If so, do you think law enforcement calling the heating and air conditioning contractors out had anything to do with it? What was today? Okay. Maybe, but why would a contractor stab 4 people to death? Usually subcontractors would commit crimes in the homes of their clients. And they're doing SA or robbery, not passionate stabbings. Someone said no, somebody just posted that they were looking into a contractor that just get other people to talk about something else and they got to check everybody out. Oh my gosh, I can't. So a cleaning crew is also going to the house on Friday. Let's look at the official press release, okay? Everybody on their panel fell asleep and Scooter dropped off again. Let's see what the poll is saying. Hold on a minute. Okay, so it's 65 yes and 35% say no. Okay, so more is yes than no's. You heard this story somewhere else today on YouTube? But how does anyone verify this? Exactly. Okay, let's see. I was doing something. I don't remember what I was doing. What was I doing? Oh, law enforcement's press release. Law enforcement's press release. What's up with this? It's not letting me get there. What's up with this? Come on, let's go. What's up with this? Okay, come on now. Oh, won't let me on to the... Let me try something. This is so weird. Just let me go on another browser. This is not letting me on. Did this once before to me. This is weird. It's not letting me on. Can anybody get onto the official Moscow, Idaho PD King Road homicides page? Because I can't. On 2 different browsers, I can't go there. I don't know what's up with that. It's just spinning. Okay. But police are bringing a cleaning crew to the crime scene tomorrow. So a lot of people are speculating that means that the police are done and they're going to wrap this up. I can't get there. See what you guys say. Can anybody else get there? Because I can't. Uh-oh. Who'd we lose? Other person. Sharon? No. Linda? No. Liza? Can anyone get on the site? Hi, little lady. Can anyone get on the site? Anyone? Can you get on the site? Anyone? Oh my gosh, everything is running so slowly tonight. I cannot get on this site in 2 different browsers. It's just so weird.
I'm trying to, and it's still loading.
Yeah,
So
right? You're
there's-
having trouble too?
I'm trying to get on there, and it's not loading. It's just going really, really slow.
That's what I'm having. That's what I'm having. Can other
it-
people try it, please, in the chat?
Just type in Moscow Police Department, go to website, and it just loads. It takes forever. It never goes
Yes,
there.
I've tried on 2 different.
Same. Well, can anybody else get in the chat?
Could they be
we
posting an
can't.
update or something going on?
I'm
or it's
thinking maybe
maintenance,
there's an
or-
update. Yeah.
What's up with that, guys? What's up with that? What's up with that?
Very weird. That's what's up with it. Maybe an update.
Moscow PD, Palladian, Paladin, Palladian, Palladian, Palladian. You're trying to, Barb? You can't get on? What's up with this?
It's Paladin, that guy's name, I
Paladin.
think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paladin. Barb Olson's trying to. Is it spinning for you too, Barb?
Definitely still spinning for me.
Spinning for me on two different search engines. I tried Firefox and Google. Nope, you can't get on, Barb. Barb said you can't get on.
I don't think any of us can get on. There must be some sort of update.
What do you guys think? What's up with that? When's the last time somebody was on the site? Wait, Barb can't get on.
I was on the
Deborah
site
can't get on.
yesterday.
Same.
don't
It's
know
not opening
why.
for me either, says Annie Millions. What's up with this? What do
I
you
don't
think's
know.
up with that?
Maybe there's an update, I think. I hope.
It took
She's
me
using
to
Safari, not a-
Facebook.
What?
I don't know how, but I landed on Facebook.
Yeah, but that's not their.
No, I know.
Go to,
Yeah.
their Moscow official police department website.
Yeah, I'm on the
Right.
Facebook too. Let's see. And I could read the update from here for 12/29.
Ways
Or
to
hold on a minute.
There may be
use
another
olive
one
oil that
out
might surprise you.
today. I mean, or tomorrow, rather. It's tomorrow when we go to sleep and wake up, right, Carolyn? So
Okay, this one says that, let's see. On Friday morning, December 30th, the 1122 King Street resident will remain an active crime scene under police control. However, Moscow police have worked with Team Idaho Property Management Services to begin remediation on the residence by a private company. Remediation activities include removing potential biohazards and other harmful substances used to collect evidence. There is no timeline for completion, but the property will be returned to the property management company when finished. The Moscow Police Patrol officers will be in the area to keep the roadways open. Media is asked to provide adequate space for work vehicles that have to access the residence. Investigators continue processing and working through more than 9,025 email tips, 4,575 phone tips, 6,050 digital media submissions, and have conducted over 300 interviews. Investigators believe someone has information that adds context to what occurred on the night of the murders and continue requesting additional pictures, videos, social media content. Our focus remains on the investigation, not in individuals' activities displayed in the tip. Whether you believe it's significant or not, your information might be one of the puzzle pieces that help solve these murders. Digital submission of tips and leads will not be publicly disclosed due to our ongoing commitment to keep information private, and details may be pertinent to the ongoing criminal investigation. Progress continues to locate the white Hyundai 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra, believed to be in the immediate area of Kings Road residence during the early morning hours of November 13th. Investigators believe the occupant or occupants may have critical information to share about this case. If you know of or own a vehicle matching this description, or know anyone who may have been driving this specific vehicle on the days preceding or the day of the murders, please forward that information to the tip line. No suspects or suspect have been identified, and only vetted information that does not hinder the investigation will be released to the public. We encourage referencing official releases for accurate and updated progress. All press releases are available at our website. Updates will be provided when new information is released. The Moscow Police Department thanks our community for their continued support, understanding of the limited information we can share, and patience during this difficult time. Okay, hello Norma, Happy New Year. Hello Hash Cats. It's like a dead link now. Probably the network is overloaded, or it may be down temporarily due to denial of service attack on that site. Okay, weird. You can't either. I wonder if most of the office is closed for the holiday. Weird. Weird. What's the matter?
The police don't shut down for holidays.
No.
No.
Okay. And did anybody see anything on there that was advertising maybe maintenance? Where's Elle tonight? Oh, Elle's boyfriend was coming in tonight. That's where Elle is tonight. Hi, Elle. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so someone said, if they're actually sending a cleaning crew in tomorrow, what happens when the rest of the household items? Will they allow families in to pack up whatever's left? Will they allow D and B to finish getting what they need as well? There's no way they completely cleared all of the household items and furniture. Someone said, don't know how it works. Someone said anything that has blood spatter will be kept for evidence if it hasn't already been removed, or will be destroyed. Someone said, I wouldn't step a foot back into that house. Poor girls are traumatized for life. Someone said, once the cleaning crew is finished, the house will be released to the property owners. I'm sure they will allow D and B to get whatever they need. The property of the 4 will be released to the families if they want it. Someone said, this doesn't seem right to me to be released back to the owners. Wouldn't it have to be released back to B and D if they still have a current lease, unless a crime scene like that breaks the lease? Not sure how it works, but I'm curious. Someone said, in a crime, the scene is returned to the owners, not the lessees. Someone said, because they do not own the property, I'm sure the owners will allow the girls in to get their belongings. There's nothing wrong with this scenario. All of this is doing is releasing the property out of the hands of the investigators. They are finished at the house with their investigation. Someone said, I doubt they want to live there. After a crime and a property is seized, it is released to the owner, and the owner can let them in to retrieve their belongings, but I doubt anyone would hold these girls to a lease after this lawfully. They could, but I can't imagine that happening. Someone said, hopefully it's torn down. Someone said, I would imagine the house and its possessions will be released after the cleanup. Someone said, I wouldn't want anything except personal items. Someone said they already released the personal items of the girls that they wanted a while back. Someone said, I know, but there's no way they got everything. Furniture, random household items. There's absolutely still stuff left behind. Someone said, I'm sure there's stuff left behind, and if they want it, they will allow them to get it, but I doubt any of them want to go back into that house. Someone said they wouldn't be able to take things that have biohazard on it unless it's properly cleaned. Okay.
People said they can get in now, Carolyn, into the site.
Oh,
So I don't know if that's changed for you, but a couple people have been able to. They said really nothing new, but they've
yeah,
been
now
able
I can.
to.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I can, yeah. So it just has the release that I read, but yeah, that's I was just trying to read that. But I was just interested that I couldn't get in. Okay. So maybe they were doing something, who knows? Maybe they were, let me see. Okay. Check something here. Okay. Here. Oh, Lex Luthor, why are people speculating Jack and Adam are roommates, or that Jack lived in that house at the direct angle line of vision? In the word, well, that I heard is true that he lived there, Lex Luthor. So I don't think that so much is speculation. I don't really know about Adam. I've heard a million times about Adam and Jack being roommates, but I haven't seen it confirmed by any real source other than that. The site's back up again. Yes, okay, thank you. And why do people automatically speculate that Dylan and Bethany did not hear anything? Similar to people speculate. That's what they do here, okay? And people spread rumors. It's what they do here. People click.
And lots of them.
That's what they do here. Well, they do it worse on TikTok. Way worse on TikTok. Way worse on TikTok.
And the no kind of new information that really doesn't help, does it? I mean, it just seems to make it more speculation.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they've got a reason for keeping it, everything so quiet. Have they said anything about looking for that car still? Is that kind of, are they still saying stuff about that, or that's kind of
yeah.
gone by the wayside?
No, they're saying they're still looking. Yeah.
Still looking for that car.
Oh, let's see. They said if they want the public's help in finding that Elantra, then why don't they provide a photo that we can believe in? The Fox News photo from the gas station is assumed to be what they're going off of. But I think a lot of us don't think it's an Elantra. I've heard they're not going off on that. I wish this was cleared up. Anybody have info on the car? Oh, let's see. someone wanted to know.
Yeah, I don't really have a theory even, hardly at this point. I mean, every time I think I have one, then I think, well, no, that doesn't make sense either.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't come up with any logical kind of, not yet anyway. I don't even have a hypothetical, really.
Right. I don't know. Oh, over here for a second.
I mean, a lot of people have said this, like Paladin is saying, you know, what if the Elantra car was never really a clue? But then why would they do that? I don't know, because they really made an issue out of it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know their motivation would be for doing that.
Okay, so Palladium thing, it seems like only certain photos and videos are being leaked. There are always nothing burgers. What if the Elantra never really was a real clue? Why would they put that out there for so long, that nothing burger of an Elantra? Why do you think they would put that out there? What would be the reason? Because a lot of people
Yeah.
have voiced that it might be a nothing burger. What do you think it would be?
I can't think of a reason. That's why I think it's real, that they really are, because I can't think of a reason why they wouldn't be.
Hi, set of footprints. Oh no, set of Depants. Seat of Depants.
Defense.
Sorry.
Defense.
Set of footprints would have been a good one too. Set of footprints. Seat of Depants. Seat of the pants.
I mean, they're saying there's so much misinformation out there. I can't see why they would want to add to more.
I
I
don't know.
just don't know.
I think it's got to have some significance.
I think so too. I mean, I could be wrong, but
Rumbling. Hungry. Binky? Bink. I wonder how Bink feels about this. Bink.
It's Bink, are you here? It's Bink to the office? It's Bink to the
Yes.
office.
I'm
Oh, there
here.
she is. What's your theory on this case?
I am so confused.
You,
I really am.
do you have any idea who might have done this?
No, what struck me as funny is not funny, but what weird was the way the girls called his number over and over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Two girls calling one guy. I almost feel
Get an orange. Just be-
like they were setting him up to get killed. They wanted him in that position. They wanted him there, but I know that's far-fetched. But I just don't see it happening the way you guys are saying it, or that they're saying it. You know, 2 people on top, 2 on the bottom, 2 in the middle, and then what could be, when did they make those phone calls to him? That night
Shortly before
That night, I believe they
for the
started.
murder.
Yeah, there were 7 calls by one girl's phone and 3 calls by another girl's phone. Now I was thinking, and maybe this is far fetched, but maybe they were calling that number because he was the one that did it. Maybe they were calling him. I don't know. Maybe it was they knew. I
Yeah,
have
I
no
just
idea.
I
I
feel
don't know.
more
Why
like
would they
that.
call
wait.
him?
He was the one. Wait, who? Wait.
Like maybe they called him because he was the one in there, and I don't know. Maybe they called him just to, as evidence, like a last ditch
But how,
effort.
you think they were alive enough after he did that?
Not after, but like maybe when it was happening. I don't know. Why would they call
I don't
him
think so.
like that?
I don't think so.
Maybe not, but why would they call him like that?
Yeah, that's what's
No.
sticking in my mind.
It's weird. It's really weird.
Well, didn't somebody say that he threatened to kill himself? So maybe that's why they were calling him,
No, I
was to
didn't hear
say,
that, but I want to know if he called them back.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
it's just taking so long. You know, there's a lot of people at risk and in that small place, and who's gonna
If Jack-
how they
if
supposed to be going to school, you know?
I know if that was Jack D though in the corner club, wouldn't he answer the phone? That would have if it was, then we don't know for sure. But it was at 1:32, right? Allegedly, right?
Right.
So wouldn't he still be awake?
Wait, 2:32.
Was it 2:32?
Yes.
Okay.
2:32. It was. I might have even been later than that. It was closer to 3. So that's what I was. Somebody said. I now sense the calls. Lex Luthor said to Jack D were to kind of hash out whatever was going on with them with the whole Adam thing. Maybe it is
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. Very
Maybe
possible.
somebody told them that, or he told them that you'll get yours, you're gonna get yours, and they were calling him to say, what are you talking about? We'll get ours. Maybe that's why they kept calling him. Maybe they were freaking out because something he said.
Yeah. Could be. That's a good. I mean, I just can't think of any reason why they would call him if they were broken up now for that amount of time. And I just, unless they saw him earlier in the night, maybe earlier in the day.
Yeah, or word of mouth. Somebody said something. Hey, I heard that, so and so is going to come after you. Aren't you scared, or something like that? And they're probably going, what the hell is he talking about?
What are the phone calls that we need to also know? I mean, what calls were made to other people prior to that, that evening before the calls to Jack were made? That would help as well.
Barb Olson said maybe Ethan and Zaina were first, and the girls heard something and called Jack because they were scared.
That could be.
That could be. Yeah.
The thought has crossed my mind that it's not as inner circle, so to speak, as we're thinking. I don't know. Obviously they would be, the people most involved in their lives.
But someone said, I said that too, what Barb said, but then someone said to me, well, then wouldn't they have called 911?
Right.
If they really were scared something was going on, then wouldn't they have, after they can't get the guy 10 times, wouldn't they have tried someone else or called 911?
I don't think it had anything to do with what happened, the calls.
Well, if he knew she was moving soon and they had already broke up and he knew he was losing her, he could have said something really strange that people were told them, and then they're calling him because they're worried. I don't know where I heard that he was going to kill himself.
I don't know.
Maybe I was dreaming that.
Maybe. I didn't hear that.
I haven't heard that one.
Farm Life
Yeah.
says, strange thing to me is that young people do not call, they text, correct? Making the calls is very strange and very unusual these days with young people. Andrew says, have you guys seen this baklava picture taken at 3:30 a.m. that night? Where is that coming from, Andrew? How about what was said today? Peachy Keen said that Kaylee has started going out on at least one date with other guys, according to the family. Where'd you see that, Peachy Keen? Where did you see that? Lex Luthor said, I really think it's someone who is not a resident of Moscow, but probably from Idaho somewhere, and has familiarity with the property and or the residents, and has stalked and watched from close or far. Someone said, oh, they tried to reach Jack for help. They didn't live long enough to call 911, but it was quite a series of calls.
Yeah, you would automatically call 911.
Someone said, isn't that the selfie Ring doorbell photo with the black mask, and also the Dylan photo with the pink and black mask? I think that is what they were referring to. Where is that from, Lex Luthor?
He might have told her something that you're not going to Texas, you over my dead body, something like that. And they were freaking out about that comment and wanted to find out from him, from the horse's mouth, what does he mean by that?
Well, that interview is not going to be for days. Okay, so
Like, what could her parents tell us? They didn't live there.
right.
If that's what they're going to do, is interview her parent, one of the girls' parents. You don't know?
And unfortunately, yeah, they're supposed to be. But unfortunately, college kids don't tell their parents everything. And
Right,
even if the parents think they know everything, they don't.
right.
No, you don't. No.
No.
And by him being able to see in their apartment or down the apartment, that's like a red flag for me. I mean, but it could be somebody else, like you said, somebody that's not in their circle, but has he can observe their house from where he lives. And maybe he's not done this before, but wanted to do this.
Yeah, Christine
And since
Michael
there's
said,
one
"Get
guy,
ready
maybe
for
he
a
did
ton
it
of
then."
BS." And C to the fan said, too much unsubstantiated info on YouTube. Yeah, too many inside sources. I've heard that, Peachy, but I haven't seen real information about that, only hearsay. Lex Luthor, anyone know where to find that black ski mask? Hold on, I'll see if I can find it, but what do you think it's going to be? I mean, law enforcement doesn't mention that a black ski mask was found anywhere.
That would be something that they would hold back on, though, I would think.
Well, we also know supposedly a black glove and a jacket was found, allegedly. Come on.
I saw a big truck out in front of their house, too, is taking stuff.
Yeah.
What could they possibly be taking? I mean, it was a big truck.
Well, they were earlier on. They were bringing some stuff back to the parents of it. This
Oh,
stuff.
okay. What a nightmare that is.
They could be taking furniture out or the beds out, and they're going to
Yeah,
be up as well. And I believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
to prove where they were murdered or who, you know.
No, they're just gonna, I guess they're eventually or at some point gonna release the property back to the management company, is what was said. And so, yeah. I hope they have something, really do.
Okay, so this is being reported now. Okay, this is odd. Let me see this. Idaho murders, the third unsolved stabbing attack resurfaces amid college slaying mystery. They say Sandra Ladd, 71, was found stabbed to death in Washington on June 14, 2020. So, what does this say? It says investigators skipped Thanksgiving celebrations to continue their search for a suspect in the unsolved murders of four University of Idaho students. A third unsolved stabbing in the Pacific Northwest has resurfaced with eerie similarities. Reporters at a news briefing Wednesday asked the Moscow PD about the possible connection between the student murders and a second unsolved stabbing, which left Travis Joutin dead and seriously injured his wife, Jamie Lynn, in Oregon. Authorities say an intruder attacked the couple in their sleep around 3 a.m. on August 13th, 2021. Travis, 26, fought back but succumbed to his injuries. His wife, who is 26 now, survived 19 stab wounds. We're looking at every avenue, and we have other agencies reaching out to us and other cases and stuff like that we're going to follow up on, said the police chief, James Fry. He said his office knew about the case and was looking into it, but no official connection has been drawn between the two cases. The following morning, the Idaho Tribune reported that a third attack shared similar characteristics, that Sandra Ladd, 71, was found dead in her home in Washington on June 14, 2020. According to the Oregon Crime Stoppers, her death was ruled a homicide after the medical examiner found multiple stab wounds in her torso. Okay, let's see. The two attacks happened 14 months apart, but within 70 miles of one another. The locations are roughly a 5-hour drive from Moscow, Idaho. Let's see here. So, what are they saying about this? Let's see. Unequivocally, even without asking anyone, our detectives will be aware of that, he said. They will look at the possibility that they're linked. Anyone that would be a remote possibility as a connection will be something that we will consider. He said investigators have not ruled out any idea or concept, but that it was too early to say definitely whether any of these cases shared a connection. State, local, and federal investigators spent Thanksgiving holiday on the job digging for clues 11 days after. So this is something that was, somebody just posted, but it is from November 24th. And I don't know why this is resurfacing now in the groups and on message boards, because why? This is
Well,
Oh,
old
Andrew
stuff. So
said
people are just
that
reaching.
they looked at it more and found the photo. It looks like it was posted on Snapchat around that area.
Oh,
But
Snapchat.
people say it's not uncommon to wear those. So I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
I have a girlfriend that lives 20 minutes from there,
Mm-hmm.
and she used to be a police officer here in LA. I'm going to get a hold of her tomorrow and see if she's heard any buzz around it, about it up there.
Oh, really?
It's really weird though. They close down. I mean, when it snows there, it closes down. Everybody, as you're aware of, her daughter doesn't see any. She didn't see anybody for months till the snow went away. Then everybody comes back outside. So I'm sure she's still interested in the crime world, and she might have some insight.
Park said she thinks the text asking Jack to come over explains the calls. Elle just came in. She
Hi,
might
Jen.
want to come up.
Hey, Al. We're just wondering where you are.
Hey, Elle, how are you? We missed you tonight.
Did Elle get in? Elle, you're in Slack. Do you see the number in Slack? I'll send it to you, but
Oh, Elle's in Slack? Good. Hey, Elle, welcome to Slack.
I don't think she knows how to get in there though yet.
Oh, I'm losing my voice. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm the same. Mine's all croaky and
I said, welcome to Slack.
I know. I keep drinking water, but it's not going away.
I know.
Yeah, I got sick today, really bad.
really?
Oh,
I've got a head cold and achy and freezing, and
What's wrong with you people? Really?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you people? We got the bugs. We got the bugs going on.
Yeah, Ruff has it too.
Really?
No, are you serious?
Yeah, she said I knew there's more of a connection between us two, because
Oh
I
my-
called her today and I was like, I'm sick. She goes, I'm sick.
Oh no.
That's probably because Ruff was around the grandkids and she hasn't been around kids in a while.
And
Kids
she
probably
traveled
our
too,
germ,
remember?
our petri
Yeah.
dishes, and
She
she's not used to
traveled.
the germs and traveled as well. Yeah. Yep. And the petri dishes. What did we learn on the show tonight, Greg?
Carolyn, you sent Elle the number, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's saying she can't get in, and I think she's referring to Slack.
Oh, I just gave you the
So-
number to get in here.
Okay. Because she keeps writing that she can't get in, so.
We'll need a hall monitor to get her in. Send someone out to fetch her.
There she is.
Welcome, Elle.
Hi, Al. We were wondering where you were.
I got it.
We'll need a
I got it. I got it.
Okay,
Hi,
good.
Al.
Where were
Here I
you?
am.
Where were
Here
you?
I am.
Girl, hey.
Hi.
Where were you? Were you out with your boyfriend?
I was sleeping. I
Oh.
fell asleep at 7 o'clock and I just woke up. I'm like,
Oh
I
my
hope they're on.
gosh.
Yeah.
You're on our schedule now, Elle.
What's new? What's new about the case? I was doing stuff all day. I don't know anything.
There's a lot of stuff online right now, just all of a
What?
sudden today.
What's going on?
Oh, I
Here.
have that. I have that Manuka honey. I have that. Newfie sent that to me when I had COVID last year. Where is Newfie? Newfie, where are you?
No. What's new with the case?
Oh, not much.
No?
There was online, you were just talking about all those things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of. We're just talking about a lot of like these people's theories and stuff. Somebody had this theory, and and
What
that
was it?
that the timeline and that Zaina and Ethan were the targets, and then the girls started to come down, and that's why they went upstairs, and there was a scream and three doorbell cameras. This is all a theory, okay? And
Oh,
and all of that.
And Jack D was in the photo.
No, and they're saying that, yeah, well, somebody's saying that a very, very good source said that that is Jack in the photo.
Ooh.
And that
Okay.
the family is talking to them and says that Jack didn't do this, but says that Jack S. may be involved.
Oh, duh.
But that's all allegedly.
Allegedly.
Maybe they were told to say that allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. I said allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling a Peachy. I'm telling Peachy Keen.
Hi, everyone in chat.
Higher heart made wise.
Hi.
But it was him in the photo, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly.
At the corner club?
Yeah.
Allegedly, yeah.
Well, yes, allegedly.
I question that because of that text.
Who said it was him at the club, allegedly?
Allegedly, a very good source.
Oh.
Allegedly.
They said it was him?
Allegedly.
They said it was him, yes. Allegedly, but not sure yet.
I'm confused about that because
Allegedly, it may come from the
what she
family.
was saying to him in
Allegedly.
text messages, she could have said to him there, you know?
Allegedly, it might be coming from the family. Allegedly.
Yeah.
What were the text messages? Because I missed that somehow. I may have gone downstairs.
Well, it was old news, but I watched a video I hadn't seen before the other day because it popped up, and it just had her mom talking about how Kaylee's last text messages to Jack that evening were saying some about we have a dog together. Please come over.
Allegedly.
Well, what time were these alleged text messages?
Around I believe it was indicated it was around the same time as the calls.
Shortly before 3 a.m., allegedly.
So if they saw him at the club, then why
Why
would
would they have talked to him then, you know?
they
Right.
talk to him at the club about meeting about the dog afterwards? And he
Yeah.
never showed up. So that's why she texted him.
How do we know that?
Jack asked
We
his buddy
don't. We
guy.
don't, but it's just,
and his
know.
parents are doctors.
So you're just speculating that she talked to him about meeting up about the dogs?
Yeah, I mean, if that is confirmed, allegedly, that he was in the corner club that night, maybe in the corner club they had a conversation about meeting up later, right? Like
Right.
after
No,
corner
that
club.
that didn't seem to be the tone of the text. It was like, she was like trying to convince him to come over there and like, hey, we have a dog together, like thinking that he wasn't answering
Really?
her phone calls,
Paladin?
But were the do you know if the texts were confirmed at all? Is this from her parents, right?
Yeah,
You
it was
said
from her mom who actually read them. Yeah.
Why would they release her phone to them if it hasn't?
Okay, well, they didn't, but early in the
Allegedly, someone
investigation,
told her.
you might remember this. The mom and the sister were on an interview talking about how they had, I guess because of a family account, they were able to get her phone records before the police, and they're the ones who gave them
Usually
to
they don't
police.
show you the text messages. They'll show you the phone calls and they'll show you the numbers that texted, but they usually don't show you the text
the
transcript.
minutes, but
Well,
they don't.
I don't
show
know.
the-
Her mom said she read the texts.
There is a program out there where you can see who your spouse or whoever is talking to and what they're saying. You can get the whole everything.
Really?
Yeah.
The father
Somehow
said
or
it
another,
wasn't
her
Jack.
mother, her family was able to read their texts.
The father
Yeah.
said it wasn't
Allegedly.
Jack.
A
Family
nobleman
did
said,
get all the
you
phone
know,
records because
for
Kelly
them
was on
not
her family's
offering a
plan.
cash reward.
Okay.
So a lot of
That's how I
people
assumed they did it.
Allegedly.
I just assumed that's how they did it, but it may have been another way. But I did know that they had gotten into the phone
Yeah,
account.
I know
and
I
all
know
that
they
stuff.
did. Yeah, that. Hey, Billy Boy Blue, come blow your horn. Haven't been here a long time.
And that of the cows in the corn, right?
So
Sheep's
the
in the middle,
father
the
said
cows
it
in the
Maybe he
wasn't
corn.
Jack.
wasn't
Where's the
there at
little
the
boy who
club
looks
because,
after the
you
sheep?
know,
He's
that
under
didn't
the
make
haystack,
sense.
fast asleep.
Okay, what did the father say about Jack?
Well, he wasn't in the interview, so I don't know. I mean,
So he didn't say he was free, isn't it? He didn't say he was cleared. Just the mother and the daughter.
no, they didn't say he was cleared either. They just said
Who's to say that it
that
really
about
was
the text
Jack
and that they were
someone
standing by
calling
him and
to
all that
make it
stuff
look
at the
like
time of the
Oh.
interview.
Yeah,
You
who's
know,
to say,
for the-
Norma? It
Because
could
they
be.
didn't believe that, you know. he
When
was-
was the When was the
Absolutely a good idea.
date of that
He was able
interview
to
or
get this so
whereabouts?
Or
as
it
part of
was,
law enforcement.
you know, I don't know, like
Hmm.
a few, maybe a few weeks after, or maybe, I don't know. I mean, I can't
But that's
remember.
old news. That's
All
old
time
news.
is all melding together in my head, so I'm not sure
That's
when
really
the
old
when the
news.
interview was. But I do know she said that about the text during
But
the interview.
when Jack's aunt made a comment to the New York Post, the family said no comment this time. I wonder why that is.
But that's old
I don't
news.
know, but that still doesn't change what the text said, you know.
That's really old news.
Yeah,
We're just trying to piece it
I did
together.
mention that.
You know, the mother and daughter really love him, so they could have embellished a little bit, allegedly.
Well, yeah, they could.
Embellished, not lied. Embellished,
Right, they could.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose
Not
they could
lie.
have.
No, yeah, not lie. but
allegedly.
Yes.
Allegedly. Not lied. I'm not saying that.
And there could still be a reason they want to be close to Jack. Because he
Right.
was close to Kaylee, and he's somebody that can tell them about their daughter, and they probably want to keep that relationship
Of course.
and not lose
Of
that.
course,
So
yeah.
if they probably can't even go there that he did that,
Right.
because that means they would lose that relationship too.
Right.
And he's
Even
someone
if
that
they
that knew
Yeah.
her, that could tell them things that maybe they didn't know, share things with him, and to cut him off is like, it's like another death.
Yeah, and even if they suspected, it would be in their best interest to keep him close. And act like they
Absolutely.
didn't.
Hi, 61. So
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they're the best, if they can be the most objective.
I
Something
don't
like
think
this.
so, in my
Haley's
opinion.
sister
No, but-
pronounced
Do you think they would have lied about?
procured the info from Kelly's phone as well as the grub truck video very early to try to produce an accurate timeline.
Why didn't she ask him to come over during
church
the whole
that the
time they were there?
priest preaches at?
Yeah.
That read the letters. Yeah, it was
She was with him for
that
so long.
church. Yeah, that was the ministries. Who's he has in full speech? Who's full speech though at Lex Luthor? I can't. Yeah, it's something ministries. Yeah, they have known Jack for years. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think they were together in high school, right?
Yeah. I mean, who would you want that to believe they did that, something like that? That
Oh,
that
you
you've
would
had
never
at your
want to,
house at your
no.
dinner table, sleep over your house, to do something like that.
Yeah.
I
That
wondered
evil.
how Kaylee's sister got the exact time when the girls getting home. Well, they know about the Lex Luthor. They know about that Uber, so that's going to give them a really good timeline. That Uber driver bringing them home.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple someones are lying in this.
What time was that?
Real Life Ministries. Yes, thank you. Cedar Pants.
What time did the Uber driver drop him off?
It was
Does
1:52
anybody know?
maybe. I think something like that.
52.
Something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, but it was around that time.
Yeah, it's on the
201.
website, right?
No, that's in Colorado. Okay.
And what time was Jack home?
well.
I still believe they know
Reportedly,
who
he
it
was there
is.
all
They just
night.
have to put all the pieces together.
No. What time did he say he? Oh, that's right.
He didn't say.
He didn't say
Well,
time he got-
reportedly he was asleep when they called.
But,
I'm not
if
sure what
that's
time
him
he
at the
got
corner
home.
bar, it's 1:30 something.
Yeah.
Now, if he was at that club, that's really damaging, allegedly.
Why? Allegedly.
If he-
Why? I mean, let's say he was there, what makes it more damaging? I mean, because he still could have gone home and been asleep when they called.
Alibi is a very bad sign, allegedly.
Yeah.
Because it was over an hour when they started to call him from the time at that bar when he was there.
Huh.
If Jack is really so broken up about this, why did he not speak at the memorial? Why hasn't he come forward to? Well, isn't today the day of that memorial in Coeur d'Alene?
Yes.
It might be.
think so.
Okay, that's Jack's hometown, where his parents are teachers in that town, and his father is an ice cream man in that town. And so, will he speak tonight? I don't know. He may not want to speak tonight because he feels no matter what he does, he's going to be scrutinized. If he speaks, they're going to take every little thing he says. If he doesn't speak, it's going to be
And
the
he
same
knows it.
thing. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
I was wondering if that's why he didn't speak in the first place.
He didn't know that right away, though. He didn't know how badly scrutinized he would be right at the beginning. No.
I don't know.
No matter
I
what
mean,
he
knew
does
was her
tonight,
ex-boyfriend.
he's going to be deeply scrutinized.
Mhm.
I
I
don't
don't-
know, farm wife.
I don't know what I would do. I really don't. That's a tough one.
Mhm.
Memorial is at 10 a.m. local time. Oh, it's a daytime memorial. Okay, 10 a.m. So that's they're on, it's 11:12 for us on the East Coast, or is it 1? Are we 3 or 2 hours behind them? Mountain time, right? So it's 2 hours, I think.
So that would be what time my time? I don't know.
12, my time, I believe.
No, 2, it would be 8.
Allegedly,
Right?
the family vetted
Allegedly.
Jack, and it was extremely emotional, according to the source. Allegedly. But, it would be. They wouldn't want to believe anything negative about him because of the tie he has to their daughter. And when that's all you've got left,
Yes.
you don't want to destroy that.
No.
Scott Peterson's parents didn't think it was him either.
Right.
No, not Scott Peterson, Lacey's parents.
Right. And
They
until they
because they
found
want to
out
hold
about
on
the,
to
until
that.
they found out about the affair.
Yes. That's so true. And you don't want to believe that your daughter put herself in that position with him.
Well, also, you don't want to think he'd kill her and your unborn grandchild,
Mountain time. Okay, so yeah, 2 hours, so it'd be 12 my time. Thanks, Barb.
Wow.
Really.
And it's every day. Nothing came out today about it, though. Oh, today you wake up and you hear that there's proof that he's the picture at the corner club, allegedly.
Lex
Every
Luthor
single
said,
day, every single day you get up, there's a new reason, allegedly.
yeah, Lex Luthor said, I think we can all agree. I don't know if we can all agree on anything, Lex Luthor, that sure Jack D could have had a motive, but so could any of the others mentioned to the public. I think the public has pointed at each individual person named thus far. Peachy Keen said they were together for 5 years, though. He could, at a minimum, say, I love you, and I'm going to miss you so much. I mean, at least say something.
Yeah.
Linda Uribe said, if you really care about someone and you are okay, you would speak because you care above everything else.
Huh?
Exactly.
I don't get that.
She means about him speaking at the memorial today. Seat of the Pan says, forget about
Oh.
how much Scott Peterson was supported by the family in the beginning. Oh, you forgot about it. Yeah. Right. They said, no way could Scott do this. He was 100%.
Absolutely, Sita. Yeah, that's true.
Today's going to be very interesting.
I think he should speak. And depending on the way he speaks, he might get a lot of heat off him.
Jack D is only 22. Lex Luthor said, I think some people mixed the 5-year relationship with Kaylee and Jack D's age difference. Things are easily twisted.
Age difference.
Yes, some
I don't
people
get-
said that Jack D was older than her, and that's not
What
true.
year?
No, it's not true though. Somebody said that they was 5 years older. They're just saying that they're clearing something up.
Why do people
I
think
heard that. I heard that.
Lex Luthor said, "Oh, Kaylee's memorial service was today. Was Maddie included? Yes. It has not happened yet. No.
I'm sure they investigated the new guy that she went out with, right?
Who?
That he could have
Who?
the girl who got killed and her the one they think did it, the one who could see into their house.
What?
Do I have it mixed up? Is Jack the one that lives in his house? He could see their house into their windows.
Yes.
Okay, and then they said that she had already went on one date
We don't
with
know
somebody
that.
else.
Where did we hear that from, though?
Tonight, I just heard you guys say that.
Oh,
Yeah, I
don't know.
heard someone.
didn't
I
say
heard
that.
someone
The
also.
mom said that, or somebody said it.
No,
Yeah, I heard that too. Allegedly,
I
Was
didn't
that
hear that.
speculating though? Was
and
that?
No.
that he knew about it, and
Yeah,
that he
he
knew
did
about
that.
it. Allegedly,
I didn't hear that.
he found out about it.
Maybe it's
Allegedly.
if she did go
Yeah,
out with somebody
allegedly.
else, maybe he's trying to set Jack up. Because maybe he was in love with her.
They were. There's nothing more, as far as I know. Allegedly,
Yeah. Well, her mom did also say that
I didn't hear that.
they spoke every day that she was home. And
usually when you break up with someone, you do it for a reason.
mhm.
You don't
Well,
break up with them just to
yeah.
see them every 2 weeks. I mean, for 2 weeks every day or something like that, or call them. You break up with them because you don't want to see them anymore.
Well, they were talking.
Oh, allegedly, Peachy.
Allegedly. No, I mean, that's what a breakup is. You don't want to see,
It's a
you don't want
breakup
to see
because
the
it's
person.
broken.
Yeah. You don't break up with someone and then want to talk to them every day. In my opinion.
Well, if one
It's hard
person
to be
brings it up
friends.
and the other person is obsessed and won't leave the person alone, then that could look like they were talking every day because one person is obsessed and calling the other person, texting the other person. Like Sister said, now that I think of it, Mommy Ramblings, I am sure you can put into Google black ski mask, Idaho, Moscow, and it will probably come up. Looks like a selfie.
It would be interesting to know who was calling
I'll
who.
look it up. Yeah.
What was I going to say? He could have been embellishing as well, allegedly, telling the parents, "Oh, we're talking every day," allegedly,
Yeah.
saying everything's fine, allegedly. We're going to get back together, allegedly.
She could have.
He.
Oh, I've
Oh, and
seen
she-
this. Are you
and she-
talking about this photo? This has been around a long time. Are you talking
No.
about there's a person wearing it?
No.
No, I'm talking to somebody in the chat.
Oh,
Are you talking about the one with there's a person wearing it? Because I've seen that around.
I guess it was my assumption that her mother
And that doesn't look.
witnessed them talking on the phone, you know, while she was home. But that was just an assumption.
Yeah, but if they have the phone record, she would see if she called him.
It's true. But
And
I
she
just
probably
couldn't
was
she said
calling
that.
him because of the dog.
Yeah, when the mom said that, I assumed that she had, sort of been around when they were on the phone or something, but that might not be true.
And if the mother was really stuck on her and didn't want her to break up with him, it's possible she could have told the mother, "Yeah, I'm calling him. Don't worry. Yeah, we'll work things
Yep.
out."
I
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
gonna say
Yeah,
that.
just humoring the
Yeah.
mother too, as girls can do if they're being. Yeah, but then the
Yeah.
mother should be able to verify that if they're getting the phone records. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I'm on around. That is the black mask that the other person in chat was referring to. There is a photo Dylan posted with two people, one in a pink mask, one in a black mask.
Maybe he was calling her every day, allegedly.
Yeah, maybe.
He's had multiple public situations where people have had a chance to speak out on the victims, and he has not once spoken out. It's weird, Peachy Keen said. Norma says, I wonder if they figured out about the black glove that he found. Yeah, I don't think they found anything. I don't. There's a lot of stuff about that, Norma, that might be
I read
sketchy.
that too, and I didn't really understand where that came
Might
from.
be
and-
sketchy. I've heard a lot of sketchy stuff about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole interview with the mother and the daughter I found weird, allegedly.
You allegedly found it weird.
Yeah, I mean, allegedly the mother calling her a brat. I thought that was kind of off, allegedly.
Did she say that? Oh my gosh, I didn't know.
Well, she kind of said, well, she was just being a brat, like she was trying to downplay the breakup, saying,
Yeah.
there wasn't really a breakup. It was just a break, and she was just being a brat, and
Yeah.
we get back together.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that interview real quick.
Yeah, I don't know,
Like-
Norma. I don't know enough about that. I'm kind of sus on that.
I never give it too much credence, in my opinion. It was right after she died. They were
It is.
very-
It's a little sus. It is.
Whose kids is that?
It's vicious.
Like
What?
a cat.
And they're still up? What
A
time is
cat.
it? Oh,
Whose kids?
you guys are such night owls.
My kids are long asleep. Let me see.
I'm like a, what do you call it, a morning riser?
On and off relationships are never a good sign, in my opinion, Peachy says.
What kind of relationships?
On and off.
They were on and off for the whole time, I heard, allegedly.
Yeah, well, Peachy's saying allegedly they don't think on and off relationships are a good thing.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Enan is a weirdo, lol, but I don't think he did anything to those victims or no involvement. But what's up with this hitchhiker and
What?
Enan? I don't hitchhiker. Who's the hitchhiker?
Uh-oh.
Who's the hitchhiker, Lex Luthor? I agree, mother and daughter weren't exactly. I don't know, Maribel saying. Lex Luthor, well, 5 years on and off happened, Peachy Keen. Norma says, guys take a break from their hometown girlfriend when they go to college. Why can't girls, right? Sure. Right. Except they went to the same college. I don't know.
I don't know, girls usually don't take a break, allegedly.
Really?
Girls don't break up with the guy as much as the guys break up with the girl.
Really? Okay.
I don't think.
Okay.
What happened with the hitchhiker?
I don't know. I guess in one of the interviews, Enan mentioned something about picking up a hitchhiker or some story about a hitchhiker. I thought you guys may have heard. I didn't, allegedly. It was on the
I
second
vaguely-
interview he did, allegedly.
I vaguely remember that.
I don't know. Allegedly, it must not have been a big deal, allegedly. I don't remember it so much, allegedly. Did you see both of the interviews Enan did? I did not watch the second one in full because I thought he was only chasing his 5 minutes of acknowledgement as opposed to his 15 minutes of fame.
Who?
Enan. Enan Harsh.
Ethan?
Enan.
Oh, Enan, the
Enan
neighbor
Harsh,
who had
Enan
he had the
Harsh, Enan
bandage,
Harsh.
right?
Enan
He had the-
Harsh.
He had the injury, right?
Enan Harsh. What? I'm sorry. He had an injury. No, that was a faker.
Allegedly.
Remember, that
I
was somebody
couldn't- I
else.
could
That
not
was somebody
find-
that was arrested. That they got put in. That they messed it all up.
I looked and I couldn't find
Yeah.
Ian Hart with the bandage.
No. Exactly. Mother and daughter
But he-
weren't agreeing so well.
Oh.
They seemed irritated with each
I
other.
tried.
Really, Maribel? Irritated?
You know how rumors get started?
Well, Linda said she saw him, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I looked too.
Melinda. Mom and Top Chat.
That was a
MRB,
rumor.
did you get a chance to see the Moab ladies murder? It's finally solved. Oh, you mean the ones in the tent?
Mm-hmm.
It's finally solved. Who did it?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
around
yeah.
the same time as the laundry
Yeah, I
case.
know, but who did it? It's finally solved. The man
Oh,
that
yeah,
did it
it was a while
committed
ago.
S, but told his partner that he did kill the married couple. Very sad. Why did he do that?
Oh well, I thought that it was the guy who worked with Crystal at McDonald's, like months ago.
I don't know. I think they said it was today.
Oh,
Well,
something
she
else.
was
Wow.
going to go backpacking before she started the internship. That's why she wanted a break. I thought she was going to Italy. I have not seen the interview where the mother refers to her as being a brat, but I think that's typical language for a mother-daughter. I don't think that she meant anything bad by it. Right, Lex Luthor. I kind of like to see that interview. Do you recall which? Yeah, I think it's in print. Let me see here. Hold on 1 second.
If you could, guys, please hit the like. Thank you.
Please what?
Hit the like button.
Oh, okay. I have to go back.
Allegedly. Sorry, I just want to say that. Sorry.
I can't get back to the main page.
Just do it later. It's okay.
Yeah, I didn't like that interview.
I
I'm
don't
watching.
remember anything they, said or whatever because they were still in shock.
Though it was about a month ago, this interview, correct?
I believe so.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's an interview. Let's see what this one says. No such. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, Kaylee's mom in an interview on Lawrence Jones Cross Country maintained the young man's innocence. Jack is just as distraught as we are. Jack is our family. Jack is 1,000%, 2,000% our family, and Jack is with us, and we stand behind him 100%. We are supporting him, and we know in our hearts and our minds and our souls and the depths of our soul, Jack is hurting, she continued. Kaylee and Jack would have eventually been married. They would have eventually been married, and they would have eventually had children. The pair had reportedly been dating for years before taking a break in their relationship recently. And Mojin was very close to Kaylee's family. Maddie was in our oldest daughter's wedding. Christy said, she said, all of my sisters are my bridesmaids, and Maddie was one of those bridesmaids, and it was all of Olivia's sisters, including Maddie. Every time we travel out of the country, we went on vacation, Maddie went with us. So this is both of our girls, and we will never stop looking who killed them, said the grieving mother. The mother also recalled how Kaylee had sent photos of herself and Maddie on Saturday afternoon. The last conversation she had with her daughter that same day, Kaylee called me on Saturday. My birthday was early in the week, and said, Mom, I'll be home Tuesday, and I'm going to take you out to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's all on me, and we'll celebrate your birthday. The mom told Joan she'd been looking forward to spending her birthday with her daughter, and that she responded, that sounds great, Kaylee, and I'll see you on Tuesday, honey. And there was no sign of forced entry, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's see. Not that one.
That's sad.
What about when that one girl said, "What did you tell Adam?" She said, "I told Adam everything." What does that mean?
Well, we don't know what it meant.
Yeah, and who's Adam in the relationship wise?
Well, Adam was either the bouncer or the bartender at the corner club.
He's a ex-roommate of Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
But they had just left the corner club when they were having this conversation, so
Mhm.
they've been speaking to him. But we'll never really know the context, you know.
Right. Yeah, it could be anything,
Mhm.
number of things.
Police are like, in my opinion, playing with him. And you can tell, I think.
Oh my gosh, what the heck was that? Did you hear that?
I did.
I heard a noise. What was that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The hell was that?
I don't know. Call Jimmy down there. Just call him down there. No, there was a really loud noise. It was scary. I'm sorry.
Hold on,
Oh.
it sounded like a gunshot.
Oh my God.
No, hold on, don't freak out. Don't freak out.
I thought it sounded like a bird hitting the window.
Don't freak out.
I wonder if it was the raccoon in your garbage. That's what I wondered. Because
No, there's
Yeah.
no garbage out there.
Don't
No.
even say.
I thought it could be snow or something, but like a icicle hitting the thing, but we don't have snow that
Gosh.
big yet. Let me see. The dogs didn't say anything, and they're right over here by me, so it would say
a raccoon
something.
scared me to death at my mother's house. It knocked
Scared me
over
too, but I
one
don't
of the
think it's
big
anything.
rolling bins they take out to the street. Is what is. I mean, a lot of it tipped it over. Bam! It was the middle of the night. I was scared to death.
Could have been a tree falling or something. Let me see.
It did sound like snow fell off the roof or something.
Oh yeah, it kind of did sound kind of like
You know
that.
what? And it could be like that because I think the temperature is warming up, and it could have been something that fell down like that. Scared the crap out of me for a minute. I thought I got shot.
Oh my
Yeah, I don't
goodness.
see anything. It's fine. The
Mhm.
dogs didn't say a darn thing.
Oh my goodness. Turn it on.
Turn your lights off. No, just kidding.
No, I just checked outside and everything. I don't see anything. Scared me.
Oh my gosh. Scary stuff.
Yeah, that scared me too. I jumped.
Yes. Here's the live chat.
That's all right. Okay.
You're braver than I thought you were, Carolyn. I would have went, what the hell?
I would have shut off all the lights and laid flat on the ground.
Really?
Under the
Yeah.
desk.
Yes.
Oh no, I went and checked.
Immediately. I'm not kidding.
That's the last thing I would want to do.
Why?
Shut off the lights and lay on the floor.
You could see outside that way. You could see what's out there. And if there's a gunshot, then you could just get down. Get down. That's all I think about. Well, there was a bat flying around in my apartment, like, and I laid down on the
Get down,
ground.
close to the floor.
I was screaming. I was like, Phil, it's a bat.
That would freak me out so bad.
It did, okay? It did.
Okay, everybody, we all had a little shock. We're all okay.
I can't
Okay.
get back on. I just went to the chat and I can't get back on now.
What do you mean?
You're on.
You
You're
can't get
on.
on YouTube? Refresh it. Try to
It
refresh your
sounded
YouTube.
like the ice machine. It probably was snow falling off the roof, but it was scary for a second.
Nicole, I once stood on my couch while my 9-year-old son
I
caught a
don't know.
live
It came
chipmunk
from
in
out
my
here,
house.
Barb. But I think it was.
Oh my
ice
God,
falling off the
Barb.
roof. I bet you that's what it was.
That's crazy.
Because I think
Wow.
the
Itty
temperature
bitty
is
little
going up. I
chipmunk,
think it's
and I
supposed
was
to be getting very
terrified.
warm these next couple of days or
I
something.
jumped in a bathtub. A mouse chased me once, and I jumped in a bathtub.
Oh, I would have too. I'm terrified of mice.
It chased me.
Oh God, you're like realizing my deepest fears.
That happened to me.
You
It
dropped to
wasn't
the
that
ground
bad.
too, Peachy?
Everybody's always assured me that the mouse wouldn't come after me, but you're saying
I
that
would
it
just
came after
flop.
you.
Out on
If
the
it's
farm,
You know
go
how in the
outside and see what's
cartoon-
going on. If we hear something, right, farm wife, right.
If
You
it's
know
on
how
the ground,
Yeah,
Because
because
if you see a mouse that you stand on a chair,
when I hear
Mhm.
like
gunshots,
if the mouse, I actually
return
did
the
that.
fire. Exactly, Harsh.
I would.
It was like a cartoon. I jumped up, stood on a chair.
I jumped in the bathtub. I ran. So you can't plop on the
Now,
ground.
isn't
in
that funny when
situations
you
like
think of that little mouse? What he might be thinking, like we're huge to him, and he's thinking we're scared of him.
I'm back.
Yeah.
My
And
dad
if you were
pushed
that
me
little
off.
mouse, you'd be like, "Gosh, those big people can't be scared of me."
I'm not even
It-
scared of
it's
it. It's
not Mouse, it's that, you know how they're so quick and erratic. That
Mhm.
freaks
Little ones too, they jump.
Yeah, I'm not afraid
I think
of
so.
the
No,
mouse per se, but I don't like how quick and erratic I don't like that part.
It's freaky, and I come by my fear honestly. My mother, who I grew up thinking was not afraid of anything, is deathly afraid of mice and rats, and I inherited that fear from her
Well, I
because
mean,
she was so afraid. Yeah,
when you see the
and I
rats
tried to
taking the
convince
showers
myself
in
my
the
whole
city.
life that I'm being
We had-
ridiculous.
We had pet rats growing up, but rats aren't scary. We had pet rats, and they were our friends. They crawled on us. We fed them little lettuce. I'm not even kidding.
And
But-
those would have
but
walked
it's the
in.
mice,
Those are
they're
out here sneezing their
erratic.
heads off.
It's like it looks like you're seeing things. They go so fast. Like it's a shock. It's a shock. You got to run from it. It's just this thing is flying.
They're so fast, 3 of them can look like 15.
Yes, I've been trying my whole life to convince myself that I'm being ridiculous about mice, and next time I run into one, I'm not going to freak out and scream, but I think I probably still will. There was one in my apartment a couple of years ago when I got on the bed and my daughter put a towel under my door and I wouldn't come out until it was gone. Oh, it's so crazy.
What if you locked yourself in there with one?
Well, I mean, she and her
Because
friend
usually
were
where
in there.
there's one, there's more,
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
right? So you might have ended up locking yourself in there with one.
Well, I mean, within reason. It was just a few hours, while her and her friend tried to catch it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I had to end up having to come out, in the morning and try to find some humane traps. Because they called the maintenance and they wanted to put down glue traps. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Okay, glue traps are kind of gross.
I'm
That
not
sounded worse.
I'm not an outdoorsy girl at all.
Okay, let me see here.
Like they're all in all the, books when you were a
But
kid.
a couple of
cute
other
little
things I did
mice.
want to let you know about that are going on in the world. Some kind of This is such a crazy. Oh my gosh. You talk about maybe a marriage that probably should not have happened. You might want to look at this one right here. They hadn't even been married a year. Not even a year. And on Christmas Eve, Christopher Colbert, who's the husband married to this woman right here, wrote what he thought was going to be a suicide note after he had a fight with his wife, Tamara Colbert. And it said, and I quote, "We should have never had weapons in the house." And he wrote this on blood-spattered paper. And I quote again, "We both had tendencies to be angry when things went poorly. Writing any of this is silly since we're dead, and I'm going to be seen as the cause." Now, according to the Cumberland County District Attorney's Office, he was the cause, but only Tamara is dead. The Colberts fought at their Hampton Township home on Christmas Eve, and after the shooting that killed Tamara, Christopher Colbert called his father in Florida. And he told him that she had shot herself in the head. After the line went dead and he couldn't reach his son, Colbert's father called the police. Christopher was irrational, emotional, and not completing sentences, he told investigators. Police couldn't get anyone to answer the door at the Colbert home, but then they saw Christopher through the garage window. He didn't respond to them. They broke in and detained him after seeing a bloody footprint and a gun on the garage floor. He told police no one else was home, but then the officers found Tamara Colbert dead on the floor of a third-story bedroom. Christopher later became more coherent, told investigators that he and his wife had an argument, and detectives asked if his wife was all right, and he said, "No, she is not." She stormed upstairs, unlocked the gun safe. We wrestled. I need a lawyer. Colbert was initially arrested on charges of simple assault and reckless endangering another person. He was being held on $250,000 bond, but as of Thursday, the coroner released the report, and he was charged with murder, aggravated assault, strangulation, and tampering with evidence, and denied any type of bond. The coroner found evidence of strangulation on Tamara's body and ruled the gunshot wound at the top of her head as a homicide. Police say they believe that Tamara did run upstairs. She did go into the gun safe, but only after Christopher came after her with a knife. And they may have struggled, investigators said, but it was Christopher who caused Tamara's death. After killing his wife, Christopher removed his bloody pants and he tried to clean up the crime scene. He wrote his note and left it in the living room. The note said, "There is no one I love more than Tamara. She was my world and I ruined it. I'm so impossibly sorry. Understand that I didn't kill her. She and I had a fight. We were not doing well. The Colberts hadn't even been married for a year. He'll be in court on January 12th, and that will still be before their 1-year anniversary in February." Wow.
Oh, God, their poor families. Oh, my God.
And that's not all that's happened. There's another thing that happened in Brooklyn where a 22-year-old daughter killed her father and tried to murder her sister. Let me get this. I just saw this. Another thing came out on this. It happened shortly before 6 a.m. on 17th Avenue near 82nd Street in Bensonhurst. It's in Brooklyn. The woman is accused of stabbing her father to death and seriously wounding her sister on Thursday. Nikki Secondino has been arrested in connection with the deadly stabbing of her father, 61-year-old Carlo Secondino. She has been charged with murder, attempted murder, and criminal possession of a weapon. Sources say she first lied to the police, claiming that it was a home invasion. So let me put this up here. According to police, one of the victim's daughters claimed the family was attacked during a home invasion, but wouldn't say exactly what led up to the stabbings. The 61-year-old father was found stabbed to death inside the second-floor apartment in Bensonhurst, and his 19-year-old daughter was found with stab wounds throughout her body. She was rushed to a local hospital where she's fighting for her life. Police say the victim's other daughter, a 22-year-old, was found with a cut to her hand. She said that two men forced their way into the home before attacking the family, including herself. Police say they were called to the home just before 6 a.m. for the assault. At this time, it remains unclear what led up to the stabbings, but police say they are questioning the 22-year-old and are searching for surveillance to back up the claims of the home invasion. Okay, so now detectives and members of the chief medical examiner's office were seen going in and out of the home as well and talking to neighbors all afternoon. My roommate was leaving for work at 7 a.m. and when he left, he just called me and said pretty much the whole street was closed down and that pretty much something happened. Someone was killed, said one of the neighbors. Another neighbor said he knew the family. He said 2 daughters and a father. That's all I really know. They kept to themselves, you know. I don't know much about them. He said, I've been here 12 years and they've been here just as long. Although police are questioning the 22-year-old daughter, at that time, this is prior, there was no arrest and the investigation was still going on. Now, there were other calls, hold on a second, let me get the other domestic violence calls to that address. I'm trying to get them. Okay, now here's the daughter grinning for the camera as she's arrested, 22 years old. Go over there. She looks like somebody. Okay, so the 22-year-old daughter's charged with killing her father inside the family's Brooklyn apartment. She grinned for the cameras Thursday night as she was let out of the NYPD station house. Nikki Secondino was hit with a murder charge and other offenses after police initially believed her dad, Carlo, was stabbed to death in an early morning home invasion. Sources said that Nikki was suspected of concocting the fake story about the break-in to cover her own brutal crime. Carlo Secondino was pronounced dead at the Bensonhurst home at 6 a.m. The tale fell apart quickly, and the alleged killer was additionally charged with attempted murder and criminal possession of a weapon in connection with a horrific attack in which her 19-year-old sister was also stabbed. Her sister was taken to the Maimonides Hospital in critical condition. Nikki smirked but ignored questions from reporters as the detectives let her out of the Brooklyn 62nd precinct on Thursday night. A neighbor of the Secondinos said she heard Nikki making a phone call in the hallway after the murders, claiming that her family had been robbed by home invaders who had stabbed them. And here's the family as a whole. Okay. Police at first say that two robbers broke into the family's home and demanded money from a safe before killing the 61-year-old father and injuring both daughters. Nikki had slash wounds to her hands. She was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Now, she is transgender, something her dad supported, said the family's employer, Yadira Gomez, who co-owns Mike's Diner, where Secondino worked as a delivery man. And there's also something about, which I found out earlier, that there were multiple domestic violence calls. Hold on a minute. Yeah, it was here, I think. Let's see.
Oh, I hope her sister makes it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a horrible, horrible trauma.
Yeah, but I was looking at this earlier, and there were like multiple times that they were at the apartment because one time she ripped the blinds off of all the windows, and she was with the sister. Oh, here it is. The family home has been the scene of domestic violence on several occasions. On July 15th and September 19th of this year, police were called to numerous incidents in which the father allegedly beat the younger daughter. Well, now they're saying beat. They said slapped her or something in another article. According to law enforcement, officials say the younger woman was charged with assault and criminal mischief in a third incident on July 14th after she pulled down the blinds in the home following an argument with her older sibling. Let's see. Supportive dad. The employer said that Cohen's Mike Steiner, where the father worked as a delivery man, said that despite this, he was having the mother abandon them, I think. Or let me see. She said the girls were abandoned by their mom when they were little, so he is the only one. There is a mother figure and father figure. Everybody loved that guy here. It's a big loss for everybody. He would work. He never said no to nothing. He helped everybody. And she said that what happened here? I knew that there were always fights. He was always working here all day. But during the day, he would always say, she's crazy. She's got some issues, problems. She doesn't want to work. She was fighting with him yesterday, and he told the other girl, go to your friend's house. Don't stay here, because he was worried. These girls were abandoned by their mom when they were little. So, okay.
Gosh, how bad it'd have to be if he was worried about his younger daughter's safety.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then, yeah. So, that's that. Next is the refresh. Chat audio is good. I think she said Brooklyn. Brooklyn, yes, that was in Brooklyn, in Bensonhurst. Bensonhurst.
Wow.
Oh, you must have clicked a button. Okay. You tell me, is it working? Lex Luthor. Who just came in?
Me, I got bumped off
Oh gosh.
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, someone just bumped you right off.
Yeah.
Gosh. I don't think anybody did, but it must have just found you. Let's see.
Went
So
to
what was the thing about the couple, the two girls who were killed in Moab? What was that?
Oh yeah, I was gonna look at that too. Yeah.
Thank you, Hart, for reminding her. Because I wanted to know too. My voice sounds awful. Awful.
A little croaky.
I'm not sick though, I don't think.
Okay. See.
I felt fine last night, but not today.
Okay, Grand
feel
County
better.
closes the case of the two women murdered. Let's see here. So it says the investigation into the murder of two Utah women, 38-year-old Crystal Turner and 24-year-old Kylan Schulte, in the Moab area will be closed. The Grand County Sheriff's Office said it will close the case and is satisfied that Adam Tomer, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, Pinkasuisk, whatever, was responsible for shooting and killing the married couple on August 14th, 2021. They were reported missing 2 days later and were found dead August 18th of 2021. He took his own life on September 24th, 2021 in a motel in Waterloo, Iowa. Detective Carrie Rigby with the Utah Unified Police Department, who did much of Thursday's presentation to media, said the suspect's family has been cooperative with investigators. And if he was alive, there would be a situation where we have enough to place him under arrest and we feel like we would be able to take him to trial and get a guilty conviction. So this case will be closed. Let's see if we can pull this suspect right there. And Rigby presented the case to media Thursday, while Nate Whitney with the Grand County Sheriff's Office was the lead investigator, said that he was having voice problems Thursday and wouldn't be speaking much. Rigby presented a timeline of events in the days after the homicide and presented key evidence. The key evidence that was included was a black Toyota Yaris, the same or similar to the one the suspect had leaving the area shortly after the shooting. A red-tipped ammunition similar or the same as the one the suspect was later known to have purchased. A man that was camping near the victims with a car and beard matching the suspect's. A history of threats, including towards a female supervisor at McDonald's. Police say there was no forensic evidence linking the suspect. Rain during the 2 days after the killings washed away evidence that would typically be collected, and the bodies were found in a creek by a friend of the victims. But investigators say they did not have the suspect's DNA and said if other evidence was presented, they would re-examine the case. Let's see. The suspect left Utah in the days following the murders, couldn't be located, including by the FBI assisting on the case. He was a person of interest, but he wasn't located until after he was dead. In May, after a prominent bounty hunter publicly got involved in the case, investigators said there was a suspect in the case, and the name was Pinkasiewicz. At the time, they said he told another person about the killings without providing further details. The person was identified as a significant other in the area where the man killed himself. According to investigators, when they initiated contact with the unnamed love interest, he said he knew why they were talking to him and said it was because of the Utah killings. He also apparently told investigators that the suspect told him that he killed the pair because he worked with one of the women and thought that she was bossy. The unidentified man also revealed details about the killings that were never made public, including that Turner and Schulte were shot inside their tent and their bodies were moved. This was only known to law enforcement, Rigby said. She was the only way a person could know that was if they were at the killing or they were told about it by someone there. The significant other was definitely cleared by investigators from being in Utah at the time. The only way they would have that information was from Adam, Rigby said. Let's see. After the suicide, most of his belongings were thrown away and his body was cremated, but his family did provide investigators with cell phones and a bag of bullets they took from his car. The phones had been wiped and encrypted by the suspect, but a few items were recovered, including memos that indicated he wanted to hurt people. And I quote, "I'm afraid I have an ongoing impulse in me to kill or are people," one memo said. Rigby said his notes about these impulses didn't express concern for people he might hurt, but rather concern that he would be judged for his urges. Tips to police include a photo of the man near his car by other campers who found his behavior concerning. And here he shows himself by a campsite. Investigators talked about other suspects, including Brian Laundrie, who was in Moab area with his girlfriend, Babby Petito. She was later killed, and he committed suicide, leaving a note that he was responsible for her death. While Laundrie's involvement was a popular internet theory and was even presented as a theory on some television programs, police cleared him based on location records confirmed by his phone, and his name was only a footnote in Thursday's presentation. The Moab police responded to an August 12th incident between Petito and Laundrie before later search efforts for Petito focused on the Grand Teton National Park and the Florida home of the Laundrie parents. She was eventually found dead. So that's that. Where is that? Flowers lost. Okay, so that we got that going on. Now let's see if there's anything else going on in anywhere. Went through that. Okay. Oh yeah, keep Becky Ann's nephew in your prayers. Becky Ann's nephew was brutally attacked. Here.
We're praying for you, Bucky Ann.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's terrible.
So let's see what happened. So these there was a welfare check on someone that was having a fight with someone with a fire extinguisher. So 2 Suffolk County police officers are recovering after they were stabbed while responding to a 911 call on Long Island on Wednesday. Police say a knife-wielding man was later shot and killed by officers. By the grace of God, these officers will be going home to their loved ones, Suffolk County Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison said on Thursday. The officers were critically injured while responding to a 911 call in Medford. The officers approached the door and asked him how he was feeling. At the time, the same subject pulled out a Rambo knife and lunged at the officers. Officers fired 4 shots at the suspect, killing him. He has been identified as 56-year-old Enrique Lopez. It happened at the Blue Ridge condominiums on Birchwood Road, at a unit in the complex that provides services for individuals who are experiencing homelessness and suffering from mental health issues. He stabbed one of our officers in the clavicle that went into his neck. He also stabbed him in the left part of his groin. He then also stabbed a second officer in his chest that went through his vest and hit a rib. Let's see. Investigators say the 56-year-old man who was out on parole for assaulting a Suffolk County officer back in 2011 was threatening another residential patient, and that's when his social worker was contacted and a 911 call was made. People who live in the complex said they have felt unsafe in recent months. Me and every other person that lives here was not surprised about a violent outburst. We all saw it coming, said the neighbor. Sorry, I just thought I saw something. Tire slashing and just most recently breaking of the windows of cars, said another neighbor. Neighbors say they reportedly reached out to their HOA and police several times. We're going to take a look at it. Have there been any other jobs that we've been called to regarding or any interactions with him? As the investigation continues, prayers are up for the officers who are both Army veterans. With my 30 years of law enforcement experience, to me this was a justified shooting, Harrison said. Both officers remain at the hospital. Doctors say one is stable, but still on a ventilator. That's her nephew. The other is expected to be released on Friday. There was a third officer who suffered minor injuries. He was treated and released on Wednesday night. And his wife is pregnant. So, yeah. And say some prayers, please. Okay, now let me go to... here. And that little Madalena, they still haven't found her. And there's a Charleston, South Carolina girl missing. Here, this girl right here. Police in Charleston, South Carolina are looking for a 14-year-old girl who left her home on Tuesday and still hasn't been found. Sophie Benton frequents the Carolina Bay area in West Charleston. Police didn't have a description of what she was wearing when she was last seen, but anyone with information should call the police department at 843-743-7200. Okay. Right. So, let me go on the other thing now. See if anything's going on here. Someone just said, what if whatever Maddie shared with Adam implemented the perpetrator in a previous crime, whether it's stalking, theft, drugs, physical harm? The person would have everything to lose. Maybe that's why Adam assigned JS to get the girls home. He may have looked like a creeper in his hoodie, but his task was to get them home safe. Not with them, but more chaperone them, which is why he stood back. He didn't seem to be texting much. Then they ditched him when they grabbed the Uber. A text or snap may have been shared like wildfire, and it got back to the suspect. What if the information came from Ethan, either directly or indirectly, maybe from Zaina, and since Maddie shared, she was a target too. Kaylee may have intervened after hearing what was going on in Maddie's room. She may not have been asleep. She didn't seem as intoxicated as Maddie. If the rumors are true, who I suspect, he may have been rejected by Zaina and Ethan, passively, aggressively antagonized. That would be a motive. People were in and out of that house often. Opportunity. If there are no footprints, they may have had shoe covers. One way to keep blood from being tracked in and out of the house. Maybe the guys in the field and the guys running down the street that were looky-loos to what they heard through the grapevine that something was about to happen. Mob mentality. The perpetrator may have had someone drop him off, pick him up when he was done. Whose jacket was Maddie wearing? It was very oversized. Was it the same jacket seen outside that law enforcement had their hand on the next day? Was it the same? I suspect someone that is a gamer, probably VR. The scenarios feel like they're real, but easy to emotionally dissociate. He was on a mission. I'm so nervous to contribute. Thanks for being kind. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think that's about it for tonight, unless anybody has any questions. Hi, Robin. Hi, 61. Hi, everybody. I think we're going to call it a night tonight, but then just go off to the Zoom. But thanks for coming in, everybody. Thanks for participating. Appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up. Share it out. Do whatever you
Thank you,
can do.
Carolyn.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Okay. Stay.
Good night, everyone.
We'll see you.
Good
Thank
night.
you for
God
the
bless.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Prayers for all. Bye, little lady.
Good I'm
Bye,
praying
little
for
lady.
everything that's needed.
Yeah. Prayers for all. Thank you, guys.
Prayers for all.
Prayers for all.
Yeah. All needs. See, oh, I gotta end this stream here. End it here.